Ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is very sensitive, but it can be very eye-opening. Does God exist? Please watch the full video because if you only watch a small part, you won't understand the full point. Now, the creation argument. When people say God, they usually mean a powerful entity that created everything, especially the human being. But look at what we can actually observe in real life today. We don't see human being created directly, not even once. What we see is a biological system. Human came from humans, birth after birth, generations after generation. And then people tell us, yes, but the first human was created directly by God. And after that, biology took over. So we are asked to believe two different realities. One reality for the first human, direct creation, and a different reality for all of us, reproduction with no direct intervention. And in the world we live in, we follow patterns, we can test. When we change something, we see results. When we pollute, we see consequences. And when a couple conceive, biology produces children. So when someone asks me, who created you? I say my parents. And then they say, and your parents, and their parents, until we reach the first human. And suddenly the answer becomes, that one was created directly. Then I ask, if the first human was created in a completely different way, where is the proof of that event? And why do we never see anything like it again? And they add another story, he came from heaven. But if heaven is a physical place somewhere in the sky, why don't we see any sign of it when we look into space? So the skeptics end up saying, we don't observe direct creation anymore. We rely completely on biology, and that's why, based on what we can verify, many people conclude there is no factual evidence for God. So for many people who believe that God doesn't exist, it's true because it's not observable reality. And we cannot see the creation of human happening anymore. The only thing we see a biological regeneration system. So yes, God don't exist. But here is another fact. Yes, God exists, and yes, He created humans. And the religious claim is not that God must create a new human from nothing every day. The claim in many holy books is that the first human was created from earth or dust, and then God built a system that continues on its own, reproduction. And that idea is not strange. It's exactly how nature works everywhere. Look at a seed. You plant one seed, it becomes a tree. The tree produces fruit, and inside the fruit are new seeds. You don't need a new creation each season because first design reproduces itself. The same logic applies to humans. The beginning is one act, and after that the system runs through birth. Now, scientific will say maybe humanity came through evolution and maybe life began through chemistry. Abiogenesis, fine. But then show me today life starting from non-life in a clear, repeatable way that we can witness. Show me a human being created without parents. You can't. Just like the religious beginning is not directly watchable, the scientific beginning is also not directly watchable. It's reconstructed from clues. So the real question becomes, which explanation best fits what we see right now? A system that looks designed to reproduce, or a system that started by accident and still cannot be demonstrated starting again? And for me, the seed, the womb, and the repeating order of life points to one answer. The system has a starter, and that starter is God. The conclusion on creation is simple. We do not observe God creating a human directly in front of us every day. And in the same way, we do not observe the first beginning of life happening in front of us through chemistry. And we do not witness a human appearing without a parents as a repeatable event. What we do observe is the system after the beginning, reproduction. Humans give birth to humans and seeds produce plants again and again. So in my opinion, both sides depend on trust beyond direct observation. Religious peoples have a strong point when they say the system looks designed and needs a starter. And atheists have a strong point when they say we should not claim certainty without direct proof. But because we cannot demonstrate the first moment live, neither side can fully prove. That's why I respect both sides, and I only ask for one thing. Whatever you believe, admit honestly where evidence ends and faith begins. If God created universe, who created God? This is the first question people throw like a weapon. So let me ask you something before we even argue. Do you agree the universe was already here before humans? If your answer is yes, then we already accept a huge fact. Earth existed, the solar system existed, and the laws that control everything existed long before the first human opened his eyes. And when we look at this order, not small order, I mean planets moving in patterns, season, gravity, time, it pushes a simple thought. This system did not come from nothing with no cause. Now, if your answer is no, you believe the universe can create itself on its own even today, then I ask you, where do we see that happening right now? We see the universe expanding, yes. We see movement and change, but do we see a brand new universe being created in front of our eyes? And do we see life or humans appearing without parents anywhere on Earth, on Mars, on the moon, in a clear way that we can point to and say, look, it happened again? We don't. So for me, the most near logical conclusion is, if the universe had a start, it had a starter, a cause, a creator. Now they come with the second trap. Okay, then who created the creator? Listen carefully, because this is where the logic either stand or collapse. If you say the creator was created by someone bigger, then that bigger one must also be created by another, and another, and another, and you ends up with infinite creators. But an infinite chain does not explain the beginning. It only delays it forever. So here is a simple answer believers give. God creates, but God is not created. Because the moment you say God was created, you are no longer talking about God. You're talking about a dependent being, just another part of the chain. Let me make it easy with examples. Why are humans coming through birth? Why don't we see humans just appearing from chemistry in front of us today? Why cannot a computer create itself? We are the ones who build the computer, and yes, we might build AI that can build other machines in the future, fine. But even that AI would still need an original starter, the first human who made the system, the first hardware, the first code. So the point is not things cannot run on their own. The point is system can run and even reproduce, but they still need a starting cause. And if you keep adding one more creator above the creator, you don't get an answer. You get endless confusion. Who is the final authority? Who started it all? And where does the chain stop? That's why for believers, the answer is clear. The question who created God misunderstands the meaning of God. God is the uncreated source, the first cause, the one that ends the chain instead of pushing it forever. But before I end this first chapter, I want to share one question. An atheist friend asked me, and it's a serious one. He said, if God is not physical, like light, energy, or something beyond matter, then how can a non-physical God create a physical universe and a physical human? And my answer is very simple. Just because something is invisible does not mean it has no power. Look at what we live with today. When I call someone in another country, my voice becomes signals, vibration, waves, something I cannot see. Yet it carries real information and creates a real effect. We cannot see Wi-Fi. We cannot hold a signal in our hands, but it can move data, connect people, and change what happens in physical world. So if invisible signal can carry my voice across the planet, then it's not crazy to accept that a creator with power beyond our understanding could produce physical reality from a reality we cannot see. Maybe we don't understand that the how yet, but not understanding the mechanism does not automatically cancel the possibility. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next chapter.